Frigidaire. We introduced the first home freezer, the first pulsator agitator washer. And now we introduce the Frigidaire Orbit Clean dishwasher, designed with a unique wash arm that gives you 4 times more water coverage for a consistently better clean. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Hi, I'm John Malos. Welcome to this live edition of Connect with Me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this day. Today, the focus on business, and a business that caters to veterans who are coming home from Afghanistan, even those who are retired veterans having problems. 436-MEET-TV, option 11. Do call in. Back in a moment. Back here on the showroom floor at Ventura TV, of course, Comcast Channel 187, 43.6. Your phone calls always welcome here for the full hour, 10 to 11 o'clock. 60 minutes of Connect with Me. Can you believe it? 436-MEET-TV, option 11. Today, the focus is on business. We're going to talk about that business, but first, something related to the business, and that is the scandal that has rocked the VA across the country. Some 40 veterans, of course, died waiting to try to get treatment in the VA hospitals. It all started in Phoenix. They were losing records, losing x-rays. Now a big national scandal. A criminal investigation is ongoing. This affects all veterans across the board. I don't care if you're in active duty, if you're retired. I want to put a photo up on the screen and show you 32-year-old Chris Fernando, who did 2 tours of duty in Afghanistan. The first was back in 2006, which lasted a couple of years, and then later, 2012 and 13, he went back again. Fernando is pictured here while serving in the 41st Infantry in the Army. His friend, Jay Siqueiros, a 23-year-old Marine who did 2 tours through Afghanistan, is now training for competition. We'll talk to him about that. He is seen in this photo as a member of the U.S. Marine Corps. Now both are in Fresno trying to help both active and retired veterans. Roll the videotape. Fernando is co-owner and the founder of the XUX gym, designed specifically for veterans. After his second tour, Fernando knew he needed help with PTSD, that would be post-traumatic stress disorder, and there was really no one to help, and so he decided the next best thing is to open up his own place and offer help to veterans going through the same trauma. This is a one-of-a-kind training facility that caters to active and retired veterans. The gym also works with disabled veterans, so in a way this is like patriots helping patriots, my friends. And for a guy like Fernando, this has been somewhat of a healing process for him and a dream come true as well. The idea was born years ago but did not come to pass until recently. So if you're a retired veteran, you're having problems physically, mentally, you can come into this gym. If you're an active member, just got back from Afghanistan, same deal here. You can walk into the gym, call Fernando. You will get the help that you are so desperately seeking. Live in our studio right now is Chris Fernando. He is the owner and co-founder of this gym, along with Jay Siqueiros. He's 23 years old, actually prepping for a competition right now. We'll talk to him about that and what he has to do to try to measure up. And your phone calls are important. This is a brand new business. 436-MEET-TV, option 11. It's XUX Gym, specifically designed for veterans, active and retired. We're back with our program in just a moment.
When you're looking for KitchenAid innovation and quality, who has the answers, the selection, the price? Ventura TV Appliance. With billions in nationwide appliance buying power, more than Home Depot and Best Buy combined, we'll help you save. Our low prices on Energy Star qualified KitchenAid appliances save you energy and money, and pay no interest on select models when paid in full within 12 months. Ventura TV Appliance, serving you since 1951.
Back here on the program talking about veterans and a new business that caters to the veterans right here on Connect with Me. Chris, Fernando, good to see you. Jay, how are you?
I'm good. And
You
yourself,
look like
man?
you're in good shape for that competition, huh? How's it going?
Oh, I'm getting ready for it right now. Right now it's a little hard because I'm getting used to this CrossFit level with my hands and all this workout stuff, the technique. But
Yeah.
I'm getting it and I'm ready.
Hey, this is a serious thing because you didn't just start this gym, Chris, just for the sake of working out. You wanted to help other veterans because you're a veteran yourself.
That's correct.
Tell me where the idea was born, how it all came to pass.
You know, the idea was born off of this recent deployment to Afghanistan in 2012, just serving with my unit, 1072nd, at the time, transportation company out of Fresno. And it was really just getting in shape and not meeting demands for the type of missions that we went on, always on the road, thousands of miles throughout Afghanistan, northern Afghanistan, central Afghanistan, and doing recovery missions. It beats up your body a lot. And so we needed to do something, change out the workouts. And, you know, thankfully with CrossFit, we found that. And so what I started to do was train my fellow troops out there at Camp Dadati at night, actually. So when it was cooler out, since there was no air conditioning, we didn't want to be out in the sun, we actually just started building our own boxes, doing box jumps.
You did all of this at night?
We did it at night. Yeah,
Because
so
it was too hot and you were busy during the day, right?
busy during the day, so we did it
Yeah.
at night. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The temperature there in Afghanistan during the day can reach what?
You know, at times, you know, it can go anywhere from 110 up to 123 degrees, and that's what I clocked it at as far as, you know, watching, you know, what the degree mark was. You know, we always look at that, but.
And you're obviously wearing all of that gear, right, Jay?
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, it can get inside your military garb, so to speak. It's probably 50 degrees?
It's close.
There it is, right there. Picture. Which are you in this, Chris? Or are you,
That's myself, and then I got Staff Sergeant Soto, and then
Okay.
our buddy Feo. He's another soldier. That's near. That's in northern Afghanistan, near Mazar-e Sharif, near quite some ways away from where we camped at.
Is that you, Chris?
That's
No,
Or
Jay.
is
that's
that
me right
Jay?
there, John.
That's you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We're bouncing back and forth here from Jay to Chris. What are you doing here?
Right there I'm just holding, it's an IED picker, basically. It's so, if you have a suspected IED, it's like it has a little hook at the end of it. So
Okay.
you're more distance away from the IED in case it blows up. So I was that guy, the one in the front.
Let's show some more
picture.
photos here because we have a series of them. Go to the next one if you would, please. And is that you, Chris? That's
That's
you,
Jay.
right?
No, that's you
No,
right
that's
there.
you, right? Okay, all right. That's you, Chris.
That's me. That's my first tour in Afghanistan. That was 2006. Again, I was part of an 8-man recovery team attached to the 41st Infantry, and I was a 50 cal gunner for most of my time out there.
And there's another photo here. Who's this?
That's myself again. This was just this most recent tour in Afghanistan, 2012 to 2013. That was in Kilagai, Afghanistan, camp out there. That's a recovery vehicle. We call it the HEMET. It's an A4 wrecker.
Recovery vehicle, and meaning what?
So a recovery vehicle is like you know, a built-up armored civilian tow truck. You know, in a sense, that's what basically what it
Okay.
is. You know, make it simple.
So you recover vehicles or
Recover
people or both?
recover vehicles, both. You know, it just depends on the team that you're going in there with and what the mission is. Sometimes you don't know what the mission is, and you kind of get it on the fly, or, you know, worst case scenario, something bad happens on the way there.
Explain what that picture is up there.
That picture right there is we're rolling through central Afghanistan. Well, no, I would say it's eastern Afghanistan. That's downtown Kabul.
Okay.
And that's we're convoying through to actually go to a recovery mission right there, where vehicles went down a 60-foot embankment. So it's our
Yeah.
job to go out there and save them.
The biggest danger is what in
IEDs.
Afghanistan? That is
IEDs,
yeah.
by far. Suicide
Yeah.
bombers and IEDs.
Yeah, and you experienced both. You had some of your people get hit with those.
Yes.
How many?
You know, numbers off the top of my head, I can't remember.
A lot.
Well, there's a lot, you know. Fortunately, not a lot actually within the battalion that I was with, but, you know, a lot of troops out there lost their lives. And for them, you know, we're thankful, of course. So
Yeah. Yeah. So you came back to Fresno with this idea in your head because you were working out with the guys at night. When did you sleep?
Yeah, yeah, right.
Did you work out with, did you see him in Afghanistan? That was, no, that was, you guys were there different years.
Yes.
But how did you guys hook up?
Basically, well, I heard of the gym from a friend from the a local gym, and I was into CrossFit, so I was trying to look for a good CrossFit gym, like a comfortable CrossFit gym. And as soon as I walked into this place, it was kind of like home. It was like.
In what way?
There was veterans, and they knew where I was coming from. They knew how to talk to me, how to approach me. They were just my type of people. And
what did you suffer? Did you suffer from PTSD?
No, I did not.
You did not. Did you have any residual effect from Afghanistan?
Just the sleep deprivation. Like it was hard. It's hard for me to sleep even today.
Because why?
Just from the fact a lot of chaos was going on, and it was just hard for me to sleep. I was always doing physical activities to try to stay awake and keep going. So it carried on here, and it's still affecting me today.
What about you, Chris? PTSD for you?
PTSD, yes. Yeah. I suffer from PTSD.
Explain what that is in your mind and exactly what you went through.
You know, a lot of it is just flashes, and sometimes when I explain it, whether it's to a counselor, or whether I explain it to other soldiers or Marines or
civilians like me,
civilians or older veterans, it's kind of like you know, lighting a fire underneath you. Some days you're charged up so bad for no reason at all. Maybe it's someone that cuts you off on the freeway. Maybe it's simple as maybe dropping a cube of ice some days. You know, it's just a trigger, and you don't know why those triggers happen. It's uncontrollable, and the only way to actually focus on that is either to burn it off, which is great, what Fresno is for, you know, go in there and actually burning that off, burning that anger or those feelings that you have, those memories.
So when you say something will set you off, it means anger, right? You can drop a piece of ice on the floor and boom.
Yeah, but not to make it sound like we're ticking time bombs either. You know, it's a disease, and it's more so to where.
But you're conscious of it, and you've got to take care of it, or it can become a problem.
It can become a problem, and you know, physical activity is actually the best way to actually burn that off and to kind of stay busy, and to work out with other veterans like myself or like Jay or Coach Ron or many of the veterans that are there.
Any medication?
No medication. That's what's great about it. You know, that's the one thing that they always try to do is they try to give you the happy pills. And all that does is it puts you in a different mind state where all you want to do is sleep or close your eyes and you're still laying in your bunk awake. Kind of makes you into a zombie. So being without medication and having this problem, this is the best form of counseling that you can receive.
Is working out.
Is working out. Cross-functional exercises by far.
So that's the cure in your opinion?
It is.
Okay, we are talking with two veterans right here on the set of Connect With Me. You're welcome to call in. We're going to focus on the next segment on their business, XUX Gym. It's specifically designed for veterans, but anybody can go. 436 MeTV, option 11. Back in a moment.
Don't you ever hit me again!
Chief, I think we got a hit on our hands.
MeTV Fresno, now on Comcast Channel 187.
Okay, we're back here on the program on Connect With Me, talking with Chris Fernando, Jay Siqueiros, and XUX Fresno is the name of the gym. I want to roll a piece of videotape and look at some of the workouts here and explain what the gym is designed to do. Why don't you pick it up, Chris?
What we have here, we have Jay Kamini. He's an athlete, and he's going through a series of deadlifts. So the workout of the day is what we call WODs, is the Karen. So it's wall balls and deadlifts. And right here, we're just, and then we have Jay. He's also another veteran, or I'm sorry, that's Ted, actually, Ted Hernandez. He's he's over at the AVCRAD, helicopter mechanic. Also a veteran himself in the United States Army National Guard. Going through the deadlifts as well. Coach Ron, he's a veteran himself, U.S. Marines, was in for 12 and a half years. He's on with us, XUX Fresno. He's also our U.S. Olympic weightlifting coach. as well as he's got his CrossFit Level 1 under his belt as well.
Yeah. And so the one thing that you guys have is the camaraderie, because you guys are cut from the same cloth. And what I mean by that is you experienced the same thing in the military, in Afghanistan, or even guys that that served in Vietnam. You still have that common thread. That's what the beauty of this thing, right?
That's right. That is correct. I have a friend of mine. His name is Mike Worthington that comes by. He was an old Sea Wolf from Vietnam. So he comes by just to chat it up every now and then.
Yeah. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air. Caller? Hello?
Yes.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go.
Hello. I had my TV muted, so I don't know if you covered this or not, but talking about your gym, and could you detail the location? And also, do you have organized classes? I don't know if you talked about it or not. You have organized classes, and apparently it's not just for veterans, it's also for people, the general population can come in. Can you talk about organized exercise groups if you have them, and tell us where you are?
Yes, sir. We're actually located, if you're familiar with the Ashland and Winery section, or the Chestnut Diagonal, we're behind Blackbeard's. It's that family kind of fun center area. We're in that general area. Yes, it is group class oriented. That's what a lot of the cross-functional or CrossFit is actually about. And everything is infinitely scalable. Just because you may be not fit or not as fit as you may think as athletes that you see on TV, it's just about getting up and moving, getting out the couch, or just changing your training regimen. Maybe you go to a local global gym and you want to see how you fare off against another athlete or another bodybuilder in that fashion.
Right. But you don't have to be entering a competition like Jay here to come down to XUX Fresno. The whole point of this business is what?
Is just get people fit and moving, living a healthy lifestyle so that we can live longer lives. That's my goal. I don't want to be a Rich Froning, or I don't want to be a superior bodybuilding athlete or like an Arnold Schwarzenegger. I just want to live long enough so that I can see my kids graduate college one day.
But explain how you specifically help guys like Jay, or help other veterans who come in. Maybe they have some problems. Jay, you don't seem to have too many problems, but there are those veterans out there who do need help. They're seeking help. They don't know where to go to get it. So specifically tell us how, Chris, you're able to help those guys.
Well, first and foremost, it's getting on the same mindset as these veterans. There's a certain, lingo that you would say, that military or jargon that we speak. And it's that feeling of just knowing that, like you said, we're cut from the same cloth. And so right off the bat, when you walk into the doors, we greet you just like we greet anybody else. But when a military person goes in there and we're doing our group class instruction, they pick it up just like that. We're so used to taking the mission objective, and just carrying it out to the best degree that we possibly can. And they transition that right into the gym, and it's amazing. And so there is no question ever or any doubt. We just make sure that we constantly build that up with them.
Do you offer any services, though, in your business other than helping people from a physical standpoint? Do you counsel them, in other words?
We do, and that's the great thing
Talk about that.
Well, the XUX, XUX Fresno, we are a pending nonprofit organization, for disabled veterans, or veterans just as ourselves. And, some soldiers, they go in there, or Marines, and maybe they just need a job. And it's kind of like we hope to be a one-stop shop one day, where we can actually, point different areas where we can help veterans in all these areas. We have a wide network base horizontally that we are able to stretch out to other nonprofit organizations. Being an active veteran right now, I've been in for 15 years, so I know boots on ground where within the military where they may need help or need counseling. Maybe they need to go seek counseling. We can point them in the right direction. Maybe they need a job.
But you don't offer counseling there.
No, absolutely not.
You can point them in the right direction as to where to go. Mm-hmm. What you offer specifically at your gym is a workout.
Right. And
designed for veterans.
Correct. And it's an organization, so I don't want to just say it's just a global gym. A lot of athletes will just come in there because they need some kind of relief of tension. Maybe they just need to talk to somebody. And that's all it takes sometimes. So.
Yeah, yeah. Why don't you chime in on this, Jay? Because what's your perspective on this?
It's amazing. It's kind of like a family thing. Everybody comes together. You're doing a workout together, so you're pushing each other. People are pushing you. You're pushing them. Sometimes I go on a bad day and I leave there like happy. Like I don't even want to leave. Sometimes sometimes they're telling me to leave. I'm there from like 4 o'clock, 2 o'clock to like 9 o'clock at night till they close.
Go ahead, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wondered, do I have to show up with my DD-214 to enter to work out at this gym?
No, you don't. As long as you come in there, and this is all behind closed doors for veterans, I like to make it a lot more personal, and we look over those documents where we see that you're connected with the VA, or thereafter the DAV, Disabled American Veterans. That's who.
So you have to bring papers in proving that you're a veteran, or
no, not even
not
that.
Really.
If you're an active military veteran, you have your active military ID card. If you have your VA card from the VA hospital, you could bring that as well, and that's something that the DAV Chapter 1, what we bring up to our board meetings, and we show them, okay, this is the veterans that we have, and then they help us back in return to cover the costs.
But Jay, it sounds like, we have another phone call. I want to ask you this question afterwards. Good morning, caller. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Hi, let me ask a question to Chris.
Yeah.
This program he has, which gets a lot of veterans, is great for the simple reason is I have a friend of mine that went into the Marines, and I was 65 years old, so he's more of like a son to me. But when he came out of the Marines, I did realize how family members didn't realize he had a problem until he came to me, because I was always a listener in his life. So he came to me and asked me, you know what, when we went through Afghanistan, and he was a sergeant at 22, okay? So for 3 years, he was okay. But when he came out of the service, I realized that he had a problem mentally, where anything would tick him off,
Yeah.
He told me that people don't understand, it's not only a physical thing, but what they see in the war, the bodies and their friends getting shot and losing legs and whatnot. People have to understand. We criticize, this and that, the president, whatever, but the people fighting on the front line have a bigger problem, and it takes a program like you, and I commend you guys.
Thank you.
Because when you're doing that, it's getting the frustration out of them.
Exactly.
And veterans understand what they're going through, because unless you've been in there, nobody knows. The family only understands the bad part when they argue, okay? Mm-hmm. But they don't understand why they, and a lot of times too, the marriages don't last because of that,
That's right.
And I'm glad that you have that program. You need to get the frustration out, talk to them, guide them, and I wish people could understand. And I commend both of you. And I commend this program, Connect Me, because I watch all the time, because you know what? People have to understand. They should be, a compassion for servicemen coming from the war and not criticizing them, whatever color skin, whatever. But I commend you two guys, because you know what? We need more of you to have programs like that, to get the frustration, to understand that there is a problem. Maybe not when you go into the war, but when you come out, I bet you there's 90% of them need help. And I commend both of you.
All right.
Thank
you for the call. That was a great call. Thank you very much this morning. So is it only another person who has served in the military that can kind of understand what you're going through? And sometimes family members, whether it be a wife, a mother, a father, a brother, a sister, really can't put themselves in your position because they weren't over there?
Yeah, you're right. I would say 95% of that is true. Because what ends up happening is family members end up being punching bags for our emotions, or for our outbreaks, or just for them. So when we go out to search, we like to talk to like-minded individuals. What are they going through? How do they deal with it? Where do they go for counseling? Even simple things that we can laugh about, like driving, is just.
Would you second the motion on that, Jay?
Yeah.
I mean, when you got back, did your friends or family, did they understand?
Definitely not. The thing that helped me a lot, my mom, dad, and my family, they knew the fact that they didn't know where I was coming from, so they kind of laid back on me.
Was your dad in the military, or?
No, just one of my older brothers was.
Okay, so he got it.
He got it, but he wasn't in the infantry perspective, so he wasn't in the fighting. He was kind of more in the admin, so he didn't really know where I was coming from either. But he knew like the boot camp stuff, that kind of the basic stuff. Right. So they didn't really know where I was coming from, so they kind of let me be on my own. They kind of try to talk to me, but they knew like I knew what to do and who I needed to see if I needed help, and so just stuff like that.
Okay, talking to Chris Fernando, Jay Siqueiros of the XUX Fresno Gym, designed specifically for veterans. We're going to talk about how this business started on the other side of the break. 436 Me TV, option 11.
When you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the Whirlpool appliances we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Touch the new Whirlpool Ice Collection. It offers a modern style made to create an inspiring kitchen experience. Save big on this Whirlpool Black Ice or White Ice kitchen. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
Back here on the program, let's put that quick disclaimer up so we can get that in and out of the way here on the program on Connect with Me. The focus today on business, on the XUX Fresno Gym. We asked them to come in because we want to try to promote business here at Ventura TV since we've been here since 1951 and going strong each and every day. And hopefully the XUX Fresno business will thrive for the next few years as well. So call in at 436-ME TV, option 11, if you want to chime in. So is this is a non-profit?
It's a pending non-profit organization.
Okay, so, and what does that mean exactly?
Well, you fill out about 25 to 50 pages of paperwork just to get tax exempt with the IRS, and and it's just a process. It's just it's always about, just like the military, it's hurry up and wait. Hurry up and fill out this paperwork so you can wait a year long and see what the results are, and you don't get any callbacks. It's just really just waiting. And if it wasn't for the government shutdown, we would have been a nonprofit a lot sooner, have the golden ticket and what they say. But I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. And so maybe it's just not our time yet, and we're looking at right now October to be finalized as a nonprofit.
How did you get going financially to start this business?
Out of my own pocket, and also
what did it cost you, roughly speaking?
Assets right now that we have in the gym totals up to well over $20,000, so it's worth more than my car. So
So out of your own pocket, you helped finance this. You went to a bank, got a loan.
No banks, nothing else.
Nothing.
I also had a partner that I brought on as well. He's an active veteran himself, Richard McBee. He's a first sergeant right now with the Engineer Battalion, and unfortunately he couldn't be here today because he's out training, acting as a sergeant major out in San Luis Obispo. So
this literally is cash out of your own pocket.
It is. We didn't want to go with any banks. We didn't want to go with any investors. Growing up, I always knew that even in military, let's be honest, we don't have the greatest of credit. We build up credit sometimes that we can't pay off. We got bills that we can't pay, but we still go out there and we do our duty as much as we can, and we bring home what we can. So it was all out of pocket. And also, bringing on Coach Ron Montez as well, bringing in, his equipment as well, played a big part.
Yeah. A lot more videotape to roll. Let's roll any piece that we want here. We want to show some people working out at the gym here. Jay, explain how this gym has helped you.
It definitely helped me with, like how we were saying, with like frustration and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah, I have I don't know why, but I just have like a lot of energy. I love working out.
Well, you're only 23.
Yeah.
Gee, I wonder why.
And just
wow, what a big secret.
Going to the regular gym.
Yeah, right.
Going to the regular gym just wasn't enough.
Energizer bunny, buff.
Go ahead.
Just going to the regular gym wasn't enough for me. I kind of wasn't satisfied going home. Just kind of wanted to keep going back. And then I started searching up this CrossFit stuff. I never really got into it because it's a lot of cardio, and I wanted to stay big because I was a big guy.
Hey, I don't want to interrupt you here, Jay, but Chris, what are you doing there?
Right there, I'm explaining what we use as our active athlete tracking system, what is known as Wodify, and that is an application that Wodify created for all boxes around the world to use to track their athletes that come in and out of the gym / box is what we call it in the
So this is how
world.
you keep track of them?
It is, and what they're able to do is put their maximum weight or the amount of repetitions that they put down. They're able to check in for the class of the day for that time on their mobile device, on their laptop at home, or they can actually come in and log in right when they step in through the doors and log in as an athlete and check in for that 6 a.m. class or that 4 p.m. class. And so now what it does for me is I'm able to track each athlete and see what is my busiest times of the day, so that way I can, tailor to that aspect and making sure they got that necessary one-on-one attention that they deserve as athletes, coach to athlete.
Yeah, yeah. I want to roll another piece of videotape, and I want to show some people working out in the gym. And you were saying that this is a good way for you to release that unwanted energy, or is it wanted at this point?
To this point, it's wanted, but at that point, it was unwanted. So it's definitely there now.
Yeah,
some good workouts here with the balls. That looks like a stressful
those are 20-pound wall balls at a 10-foot target.
Wow.
150 wall ball shots is what we're going through for that one, which is also called the Karen.
Just don't let that fall on your head.
No, and we're always making sure that the movement is always correct. That's our biggest thing, is technique. Without technique, you end up lifting weight, any form of weight, even if it's a functional movement, even if it's your own body weight, and you're lifting those items wrong, you can create some really bad injuries.
So Jay, in your mind, I mean, this place is a good place to go because if you have excess energy like you have, and anything may throw you off, like Chris was saying, if somebody cuts you off on the freeway, you drop something, or there's a loud bang or a noise, that can set you off. This gym helps you get that tension and release that energy out. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And furthermore, aside from that, you're relating to guys, or even in some cases women that go into your gym as well.
That's right.
Who've been through the same thing. So you kind of kill two birds with one stone?
Yes, that's correct.
Did I hit the nail on the head?
You did.
All right,
right there.
we're done with the show. Time to go home.
That's it.
All right, we're talking with Chris Fernando and Jay Siqueiros. Is that pronounced correctly?
It's the first time you got it, but that's good.
Okay, cool, man. Hey, well, you can just call me Bob. All right, we're going to be back with our program here on Connect with Me in just a moment.
When you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the Samsung big screen we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy.
Time for that upgrade to an HD 3D web-enabled Samsung TV.
Get the best selection, price, and service in town without waiting. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
Having too much fun here on Connect with Me. Roll another piece of videotape and see what we have on tap here at the XUX Fresno Gym Design. Hey, I was talking about women.
Yeah.
So, who is this?
That is Paige Hernandez. She's a spouse of Ted Hernandez, the veteran from National Guard, Army National Guard. And she's going through the deadlifts as well. So both women and men are doing the same cross-functional workouts. We just scale the weights maybe differently, but all movement and form and technique is all the same. We teach it to the same standard regardless. And that starts off just learning how to move your body first.
Who's that there?
That right there is Daisy. She's actually a Fresno State student. She's a civilian. So she was a prior athlete as well, Puerto Rican softball team, volleyball player. So Paige Hernandez, she actually came from CrossFit Hanford, and then since they moved up to Fresno, this was a great transition for her. It made sense for her husband, and they just have fun.
Here's the question I have for you. The difference between men and women in terms of trauma, having come back from, say, Afghanistan or Iraq or any place, even Vietnam, what's the difference, or is there any?
I don't think there is any difference. Everybody is their own person. You know, everyone's going to react to something differently. Maybe just because men, they may think that being sexist is just because we're bigger or we're taller, that we're supposed to be tougher, when in fact sometimes it's not very true.
Do women have they been able to handle it better coming back from war that you see than men, or not?
I haven't, you know, since my time I've only met a couple females that have been in a combat situation, and they generally handle it the same way that males do, honestly.
They have the same problems.
They do. They do, and then, and like I said, everybody deals with it differently. You know, male or female, you know, it's all, you know, up here in our head. So it's just, and we're able to, you know, point them in the right direction as well. You know.
It's a mental problem. It's not a physical problem.
No, absolutely not. You know, PTSD is just a mental problem. You know, and
right.
You know, the worst case scenarios when someone suffers from it, it makes them down and out, or they get the happy pills of what they say from.
The worst case scenario is having it and having people not understand it and not getting the help.
And that's the hard part, is trying to find somebody that understands it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're able to do underneath one roof. You know, I can't say enough about it. Counseling, yes, it helps to an extent, but at the end of the day, they go home, they feed their children, they live separate from you.
If you're sitting there, Jay, and you can talk about this too, chime in here. If you're sitting across the table or the couch from a counselor who's never been in the military, never experienced war, I mean, you're kind of looking at that and going, well, okay, how's this guy going to help me?
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. That's kind of the aspect of everything in life. If they don't have the background to prove that that they can help you, it's kind of hard to take the information that they're trying to give you. I haven't seen any counselors, so I haven't been in that situation, so I don't know. I couldn't really tell you from hand to hand, but
go ahead.
Yeah, you have to really paint the picture, you know, for them. And they you know, before you even receive any counseling from the VA, you have to go through a series of different almost interviews and retell your life story, and that makes it hard too on veterans, because a lot of times we don't want to relive those memories, but just to get, you know, your counselor, just to get treatment,
just to get help,
yes, you have to. Well, it's necessary, because you're talking to civilians.
So you have to retell your story like 3 or 4 times?
About 5 times, sometimes 6. You know, it really depends on what level that you need to be treated at. And it may, you know, I would say most veterans, it's hard on them. And some it's not. Everybody's different. But just reliving those memories and those moments at that time, sometimes you don't get enough information. So maybe they're not getting the necessary treatment that they should be getting. And that just goes through, you know, the application process of going through that.
Okay. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
Yeah, I'm a retired vet from Vietnam. And question I have, would that place be able to take a disabled vet like me in?
Absolutely. We spoke about it before, is that the workouts that we do, our group class, is infinitely scalable, meaning regardless of what your physical attributes or your activity level is now, we're able to find out first and foremost how you move your body. And then from there, you know, we scale it or we build up as time goes on. But most definitely, there is no age limit. As long as you're willing to get off your couch and walk through our doors, we will help you out.
So simply all you need is a DD-214?
You know, no, not even that. You know, even if you have your VA card, you know, just something that shows, so that way I can report back to the DAV there, Chapter 1, Homer Blevins, showing them that these are the veterans that we have in our facility and that we're helping, so that we can continue to get that support from the DAV.
Yeah. You served in Vietnam, did you?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I appreciate the call.
Yeah, thank you for
your
service.
I thank you for answering my questions. I'll probably be contacting you soon.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So if someone comes in a wheelchair, no problem.
No problem.
We'll help you work out.
Yeah, we also work with, you know, I've spoken with a lady by the name of Ali Barrera. She's out of Texas, and she runs a program called Transition Possible. And their web link is actually on our website, which is xuxfresno.org. And on that website, you know, you'll see tabs at the bottom, or TP, which is Transition Possible. And there's a series of videos on there that shows others, you know, say they're in a wheelchair, it shows videos of how they can actually work out. And, you know, and get comfortable watching those videos, so that way when they come in, they know that what they're going to be prepared to do.
Yeah. So. What about your family situation? When you came back, did your family understand what you went through?
No. You know, it's they don't understand. And it's rough, you know, it can be rough on marriage, and that's why I decided to go do counseling, and then I decided to do something about it even a step further and open up XUX Fresno.
How did it affect your marriage?
Just, you know, I would say just the anger, you know, or the sleepless nights, you know, like Jay goes through. You know, the nightmares that we go through, you know, things like that. And then so your spouse doesn't understand because, you know, my spouse, she's in the Army National Guard herself, but she hasn't been deployed.
Yeah.
So
big difference.
Yeah, it is. But she's able to at least that small percentage she understands because she's a soldier herself.
But you don't really understand unless you're boots on the ground in Afghanistan or Iraq or Vietnam or World War II. Right. And we've had many World War II veterans here that have told their stories. And Paul Leffler has a radio show on KMJ talking to veterans. You've probably heard it.
I've heard of it.
And some of these people have opened up for the first time ever in years. And by the way, what do you think of this? This honor flight going back to D.C. for World War II vets?
I think it's awesome, you know, especially out of here, out of the VA hospital here, where they do that, and I think it's a great thing. I think we should continue that. Even more so, we should continue that even for our returning veterans right now. You know, and this is maybe, you know, XUX Fresno is just one of many organizations that'll start and spark so that we can create more veteran awareness is what we're trying to do.
Yeah, you should hook up with Al Perry of Honor Flight. He's a good guy. He's been on the program here.
I've heard of him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good guy, and so they're going back again, I believe, this fall. So, Jay, can you relate to a World War II vet? I mean, most of these guys are, you know, they're in their 90s, and a lot of them are dying off. Man, we're losing these people.
My grandfather was a World War II vet.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can really relate compared to them. I think they had it a little worse. They didn't have the structure that we have today, the technology we have today. They kind of, they don't have the help that we have today, and all the like accessories to help like what we can go to. They didn't have that, so I don't know. I never talked to one and try to connect, but I would.
You'd like
wouldn't
to?
Mind, yeah.
Yeah. Quickly before we go to break, some of the nightmares that you go through are what? What do you think about?
It's not nightmares. It's just. It's kind of, my mind is just
what keeps you
running.
up?
It's just my mind running, used to that, hearing bullets, hearing people yelling and stuff like that. It's kind of just, I don't know what it is.
You hear rounds of ammunition going off, right?
Yeah, it's kind of just like ringing, and my mind just running. And I'm just used to not sleeping. So that's just it, basically.
And you visualize being over there.
Yeah, all the time.
It's not being secure, you know, especially when you're asleep, you're not secure. So
you're edgy, a little edgy.
Oh, yeah.
Is the best way to describe it? Or
you're sleeping next to them, you're living with them, you're training them, you're around them 24/7. So it's kind of living on the edge. So when you get home, it's not hard to get rid of. It's not hard to be like, okay, I'm gonna go to 8 hours sleep and go on the rest of my day. There's no
it's not like taking a pill is gonna put you to sleep for 8 hours, right?
Oh yeah, definitely not. Even that won't even put me to sleep. I've tried it.
Okay, we are talking to Chris, Fernando, and Jay Siqueiros here, two veterans, 436 MeTV, option 11. They have a gym, XUX Fresno. If you're a military personnel or retired or active duty, go in, check it out. Back in a moment.
I love a joke.
Say, Lucy.
Yeah, Ricky?
A tramp came up to me in the street and he said he hadn't had a bite in weeks.
What'd you do, bite him? Opening butler joke, buddy, come on.
The master says to the butler, Jeeves, did you put fresh water in the goldfish bowl? And the butler says, why? They didn't drink up what I gave them last night.
You know that ancient joke about the guy who saves his regiment, shoots the cook?
No. How does it go?
Back here on Connect with Me, caller, go ahead, you're on the air.
Yeah, you know, I called it just earlier ago, but I like to ask Chris a question, you know, and their program. I love what they're doing, but you know what, because this friend I talked about earlier about coming back for the Marine, he seems to come over the house and he's welcome and all that and get his frustrations out. But I asked him one time, bring your parents, okay? I want to talk to them because they're, you know, Spanish speaking. So I wanted to explain to them what their son is going through the marriage that they broke up and all that, and it's hard. It really is. But if they would also, in their program, get together with parents and make them understand that the reasons that we go through what we go through as far as our depressions and angers, it's not them, but it's what we went through in the war. I'm the gentleman that calls it. I was 65, but I understand that everybody needs someone to talk to.
You're right.
And he's real comfortable with me, but they should instigate a program where parents or friends or loved ones can understand their problems.
Okay. Thank you. Want to go ahead and comment? Jay, do you want to start off?
I think the best thing would be for him to come in and just talk to us, work out with us, so we can see where he's coming from and try to talk to him. And that's where I see where it comes from. It's just on him to be involved and be around the same people of what he's been through to be able to talk it out. Yeah. So that's where I see the weakness. The parents, I kind of see where you're trying to come from to make them understand, but I don't think they will understand. I don't think you could really beat it into their mind to understand where he's coming from. I think it's on him to either improve himself or to get around like-minded individuals and be able to recover from it.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is that just because, a lot of parents may think just because they didn't serve in the military, that doesn't mean that you can't. And if your son or your daughter has been in the military and they served overseas or they're going through some things, they as well can go to the DAV and ask for assistance. And if they are only Spanish speaking, we offer Spanish material that can also, in their language, so that way they can read and actually help out in that fashion.
Is it too much, though, for military personnel such as yourself to expect a civilian like myself or anybody on our staff who has never served to understand? Is it too much to expect?
No, it's not. We don't think about it that way. We understand that them not being there doesn't mean that it's their fault for them not understanding, and we get a lot of questions asked to us that we don't feel comfortable.
In other words,
asking.
is it too much to ask of me to try to understand what you're going through because I've never been there?
No, absolutely not. It's absolutely not. To some it's because a lot of civilians, they care and they want to play a part. Maybe they don't want to hand off $1 to a homeless person because they're wearing a Vietnam or wearing some camouflage and may think that they're a veteran, where in fact they can talk to an actual veteran that's active, or like ourselves or any other veteran that's in our organization. What can we do to help? And that's how it starts. And then so the general public, begins to understand more and more what veterans are going through.
Yeah. More videotape to roll here. It is rolling in the background. Go ahead and take it full screen. Take us through this process, either Chris or Jay.
So right there, I'm coaching two active veterans. They work over there at the FMS shop along with me, which is a forward maintenance shop for the California National Guard. We have Joe on the left. He served with me in Afghanistan this past tour, and then Thomas Narciso, he's wearing that knee sleeve there. He actually injured his knee overseas and had it totally rehabbed and rebuilt. And when he came to me, he could not even squat, anywhere near a 90-degree angle with just his own body weight. And now, he's squatting 315 pounds on his back, no problem, safely, with proper form and technique. And these guys come on their hour physical training time, which we get provided by the Army, which is we get 3 hours of PT a week. Yeah. And so they come every single Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and take advantage of that. So.
Yeah. Jay, what kind of competition are you prepping for?
It's a Central Valley Throwdown in Visalia.
When?
The 23rd of August. When I first was going to sign up, it was going to be the beginner stage. Because I just started, but
so what is the Throwdown? What is that?
It's kind of just people that do CrossFit. They go, and then these workouts that they get made, and you compete in them, and you're competing against other people. This is my first Throwdown, so I don't know too much information about it. You might want to ask Chris. But
we got a phone call coming in. Okay, good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hello.
Hello. I was reading yesterday about this anniversary of the start of the Great War 100 years ago. This month, the World War One, the first shots rang out in World War One. I got two questions for your guest. Number one, will the human race ever reach a point where war becomes no longer necessary? Do you think we'll ever get there? Do you think we'll ever be civilized enough to not even consider violence as a solution to political problems, to border disputes, et cetera, That's a question. And my second question is, you're loosely affiliated or help partially funded by the DAV. Why not give them a pitch? Because the DAV does great work, and if in fact you are partially funded by them, there's another example of how the DAV helps veterans and helps the local economy.
Okay.
That's a comment. The first one was a question.
Gotcha. Go ahead.
Yeah, the question number one on that standpoint, I'm not a politician, and I can't say, what is right and what is wrong on that standpoint. As it is right now, what I read in the news in a newspaper, I kind of just filter it through. So on that standpoint, I can't give you a good enough answer that may be pleasing.
Is the news media portraying Afghanistan accurately?
No, they're not. Never do they, ever. And
because
all they want to show are the bad points and the bad things that happen in Afghanistan or overseas. Why doesn't the news...
What are they ignoring?
The good things that soldiers do. All they focus on are the bad things and how many soldiers or Marines died overseas. What they need to focus on is how many tribes or how many villages we actually helped or saved from terrorists. How many IEDs that were cleared from the road by our EOD team. How many soldiers are living actually overseas instead of dying. How many families are affected over here in the United States while they're serving overseas? What about them? Everyone forgets about them, and they leave it to the family readiness group, which is a total of maybe 3 women, which are either moms or wives that take care of the whole unit when they're here back at home. Let's focus on the positive.
We should honor those who died before us.
Absolutely. I'm not saying that we shouldn't, and we shouldn't, but we shouldn't portray that and be at the #1 focus of wartime era. Let's look at the positives and what we're actually trying to do. Number one is trying to take care of our comrades or our battle buddies overseas, trying to watch each other's backs. That's number one, is we're just trying to stay alive and we're trying to just fight for the Constitution is what we're doing.
It is a volunteer army, so you volunteered to go in, didn't you? When I was when I was your age, there was no volunteer army. You had to go into Vietnam, and I missed it by that much because the volunteer army did come in to that point of the area where it was kind of a gray area for me, but I missed Vietnam because of that. But yet it wasn't your idea to go into Afghanistan either. So would you agree with what Chris said?
Oh yeah, definitely. But but like you said, it was volunteer. Probably since I was a sophomore in high school, I already committed to go into the Marines.
Right.
And
but you didn't call the shots and make the decision to go into Afghanistan either. I mean, yeah, you went into the Army, but
well, I tried my best to get there. I wanted.
You wanted to go to Afghanistan?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, so
how about you?
I wanted to do what I can to serve my country.
So Afghanistan or not, you would have done it.
If that's what they called us to do, then we're instructed to do so.
Yeah, but you wanted to go to Afghanistan because why?
Just the same fact, serving my country and the experience. I wanted to get there. I wanted to help. I wanted to do as much as I can to help.
Yeah.
And just be there and fight with people that are doing the same thing.
Well, we're going to be back here on Connect with Me. A lot of us talk a good game over here on the States, but these are two guys right here that are willing and actually were willing to put their lives on the line by entering the military and going over to Afghanistan, wanting to go there. So talk about putting your money where your mouth is. These guys put their lives on the line. 436-ME-TV, option 11. Very few of us have gone through what these two guys have gone through and lived to tell about it. Back in just a moment.
Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're the save energy, save time, save money place. The Energy Star qualified, ready, steam-equipped, high-efficiency Frigidaire affinity place. You heard right. Right now, save big on select Frigidaire laundry pairs and pay no interest when paid in full within 6 months. At the hometown low price, think outside the big box place. Since 1951, Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're working hard to be your place.
Back here talking about the U.S. military and obviously the XUX Fresno gym that caters to military veterans of all types, all shapes and sizes. Doesn't matter what you are, including those disabled veterans. You are more than welcome to come into this gym. And let's roll another piece of videotape. And the gym is located again where, Chris?
It's 4914 East Ashland Avenue. We're right off the corner of Ashland and Winery Road behind Blackbeard's.
Okay, and telephone number in case veterans want to get in touch with you, and many are watching today, I assume.
Telephone number is 559-960-0931. You can also email me at coach_Chris@xuxfresno.org.
All right, that phone number one more time, a little slower.
559-960-0931.
Okay. And you wanted to pick up on the caller's second point?
So the second point was, the caller had mentioned, DAV and being partially supporting us. You're right, they're more than partially supporting us. They actually cover the back costs of the veterans that we do bring in. And when we need to, pay our bills at the end of the day or at the end of the month, and we ask for help, the DAV does, like the shirt says, it fulfills their promises to veterans.
They help you pay the mortgage sometimes, huh?
Sometimes if we're really down and out, but we rely solely on donations, or I, myself, or Richard McBee, or Coach Ron, we come out of pocket from our everyday salary that we work a 9 to 5, and we pay for it just so that we can continue this passion and this mission drive.
Let me ask you something, because I've heard people say this that have been in war. Is war hell? Or is it worse than hell? I know we haven't been to hell, but is it hell?
If it's hell on earth, and it's pretty hot in Afghanistan, I would say it's pretty close, But other than that, I don't think it's anywhere near hell. If if you're a Christian like I am, or read the Bible, I don't think it's anywhere near that. I think it's just here on earth. Maybe.
How about you? Is it hell on earth, Jay?
It was fun to me.
Really?
I love being there.
He's only 23.
I was that guy that whenever something would happen, they would try to tell me to stop or pull me back because I was trying to get there first. Yeah, basically.
Rambo?
So I loved it. I smiled all day, every day. I was that guy. I was that light, the one that picked up everybody. So basically, it was.
You have to make light of it.
It was cake to me.
Right, but seeing your comrades die is not a fun thing.
It's not fun, but it's something that you have to mentally prepare, because an hour later you're back on the road.
And knowing it could be you.
Exactly.
Next.
And you have to look out for other people too. So you being down is not only putting yourself at risk, you're putting the other Marines at risk. So stuff would happen. Yeah, that sucks. But at the end of the day, like, boom, you got to snap out of it, because you got to do the same thing in another hour. You got to go out and help somebody, like, do something. So you got to get that mental block.
The VA scandal, is it an embarrassment? And what should they do about it?
I know you had some notes earlier about that. 40 different oppositions about that. But
40 veterans died just waiting to get treatment.
And that's absolutely horrible. And we have to look at even the lowest level of who was in charge of those patients or those veterans, and were they really getting the necessary help, or did they just make those numbers up because the news wanted it to look that bad? Let's look at civilian hospitals and how many maltreatment acts or suits are going on right now. I could tell you for sure that we're going through one with my wife right now for a maltreatment act, and that's at a civilian hospital.
Yeah.
So let's look at those
But we
numbers.
shouldn't ignore it just because it goes on.
No, I'm not saying ignore any of that. I'm saying you're going to make light of it because it does need to be taken care of, because the United States wants to take care of their veterans. Every patriot wants to look out for other patriots.
I think for a guy like me, I look at it. I want our veterans taken care of. They put their lives on the line. You shouldn't have a waiting list for a liver transplant or whatever you might need, a heart procedure.
Right.
Why should our veterans who put their lives on the line to make us and keep us free be on a waiting list for something? Would you agree with that, Jay? That's what outrages me.
It's kind of hard for me to kind of talk about that kind of stuff because I'm young, so I'm still on the verge of just running on a freeway. So
but you just hear about it. Doesn't it kind of just infuriate you a little bit, because it is the U.S. military veterans we're talking about?
Well, it's not like we're getting forced. I kind of see it as like it's a volunteer thing. We volunteer to put our life on the line.
But they should be taken care of, right?
Yeah, obviously they should be taken care of like everybody else should be getting taken care of. That we get the the school benefits, like GI Bill, stuff like that. Yeah, I think that's awesome. But at the same time, even though we put our lives on the line, we volunteer to do it. It's not like we got pushed to do it. Like, here, we're going to repay you because we forced you to go in. That's just how I see the view on it.
Out of time, guys.
All right.
Chris,
Thank you
good
so
to see
much.
you. Come back again, and good luck with your gym.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Jay. Good luck on your competition. Hey, that's Chris Fernando and Jay Siqueiros of the XUX Fresno Gym. Check it out here in the city of Fresno. That's going to do it for us on tape tomorrow. I have the day off. Back on Thursday and Friday live here on Comcast Channel 187 and 43.6.
Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're the save energy, save time, save money place. The Energy Star qualified #1 rated high efficiency cabrio from Whirlpool Place. You heard right. Right now, save big.